Michael Scott was a man who navigated the gap between science and illusion with extraordinary fluency. Born circa 1175, the Scottish mathematician, philosopher, and astronomer became famous in his day for divining the future based on planetary position and motion. Then he traveled to foreign lands, where he translated Muslim and Hebrew texts into Latin. People back in Britain began to associate him with the mysticism that he interpreted. It was said that Scott tamed a devil by giving him the never-ending task of making rope out of the sand of Kirkcaldy Beach, that he captured the plague and locked it deep within a vault in Glenluce Abbey. He supposedly summoned a demon horse, which he commanded to stomp its hoof 3 times. The first stomp made the bells of Notre Dame ring. The second caused the palace towers to crumble to the earth, and before the third blow, the French king acquiesced to Scott's demands that the French plundering of Scottish ships cease. Michael Scott had some serious power, and not all of it was fictional. In 1223, Pope Honorius III offered Scott the position of Archbishop of Cashel, and 4 years later, Pope Gregory IX tried to make him Archbishop of Canterbury. Although Scott declined both appointments, he continued to travel in illustrious circles. Frederick II, the Holy Roman Emperor and King of Sicily, warmly welcomed the philosopher-magician into his court as imperial tutor, to teach him the scientific laws of the universe, including augury. Scott was not the first, and he wouldn't be the last, to turn the art of illusion into an instrument of power. But he was one of the few real-life Merlins to hold so many reigning kings and popes spellbound. My own introduction to the hidden benefits of illusion might seem laughably modest next to Michael Scott's, but mine involved a hero who was no less than a king in my eyes, the incomparable Will Shortz. It was January 1st, 2010. I was 30 years old, and meeting the New York Times puzzle master for the second time in my life. We'd first met when I was a teenager, after Shortz gave a talk at the Wellfleet Public Library on Cape Cod. Already then a card-carrying member of the National Scrabble Association, I successfully converted lackeys plus P to special K during the audience participation segment, and Shortz made my year by inscribing a dedication in my Book of Games magazine puzzles. To David, a puzzle champ. It wasn't long before I began corresponding with the guru of games through my own crossword submissions to the Times, and eventually this magnanimous wordsmith even accepted a few. But we hadn't met in person again until this New Year's Day. We were to play table tennis. Shortz had once been told by a neurobiologist that table tennis activates all parts of the brain that crosswords do not, though, like puzzle construction, the game requires both a driven pursuit of excellence and a desire to command the person on the other side of the net. So for more than 3 decades, Shortz had been an avid player and tournament competitor. He believed that if every day I do puzzles and table tennis, I'm getting an all-around brain workout. In 2009, he'd founded the Westchester Table Tennis Center, the largest of its kind in North America, and the site of our first match. But I had a hidden agenda. I had a trick, literally, up my sleeve, as well as in my pockets, where I'd concealed a deck of cards, a kiwi fruit, a knife, a Sharpie, and some invisible string. Jeans and a button-down, long-sleeved shirt were required to hide this cache, but they made the worst possible outfit for professional-level table tennis. Shortz, whose athletic prowess was the result of thousands of hours of drilling, repetition, and trial and error, predictably wiped the floor with me. In 3 games, I won just 2 points. But then came my chance to redeem myself. I asked Will if he'd like to see some magic, and he enthusiastically summoned a crowd to the reception area, where I served up one of my standard openers. First, I made 4 jacks appear from my bare hands. Then, with a twist of the palm, they turned to aces. After this quick and flashy start, I handed over the kiwi fruit for audience inspection. Separately, I asked Shortz to sign a